Hi everyone, hope you're all doing okay. It's nice to see you all again. I thought today would be a really nice opportunity to give you a little bit of an update of my day yesterday in London, where I went to visit the team of Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. Alongside that, I got my Chinese visa. That seems like that's all in the process now. I had a very stressful 3 days trying to get it. I'll talk about that in a separate video because I think it'd be really helpful to give you a little bit of advice around that, but that's not the purpose of this video, so I won't talk about it here. But basically yesterday, the whole idea was mostly for me to go and visit the team of Great Ormond Street, who in all honesty have been absolutely amazing so far. Met some of the people I've been talking to who have helped me getting things such as my cycle jerseys, and just basically helping me with the logistics, giving me advice on what to do with sort of fundraising and so forth. And also yesterday they brought me around the hospital and the public areas and basically just spoke about a lot of things they do, because not being someone who's ever been to Great Ormond Street before, it's really nice to sort of learn and see, you know, what you're raising the money for, and just see the amazing work they do. So around about 2 p.m. yesterday, I went over. I haven't filmed anything because I felt it would be nice to have quite a natural conversation with them. I feel when you've got a camera and you're sort of putting in someone's face, it just doesn't, it's not as natural. And also I'm going to a hospital with children in, so there wasn't going to be much I could film anyway. There's already a lot of footage that is available for the hospital on YouTube. So if you ever are curious what the hospital looks inside, I've got a couple of pictures here and there, but you know, had to be quite mindful of that. But I thought instead it'd be really helpful you just talk about basically what it is they do and sort of how they help a lot of the lives of these children and families that heavily rely and depend on their support and help. Basically, you know, Great Ormond Street, its history is it was in 1852 and it's founded by someone called Charles West. And essentially, from what I was talking to people yesterday, it was only like 10 wards to begin with due to a really high infant mortality in London. And basically it sort of emerged quite a lot out of that. And when you look at sort of what it is today, you know, beginning with, I was shown that they have accommodation for parents so that parents don't have to worry about sort of getting accommodation if there's like an emergency and they need to get to London. The last thing you're going to want to do is try and find bookings. So it takes a lot of that stress away. They offer a lot of research. They collaborate a lot of other hospitals around the world, and in general I just think it's quite amazing to what it has become today. And one of the biggest reasons why I chose Great Ormond Street as something I'd like to raise money for is that in my personal opinion, I don't think any child should ever have to face the prospect of not being able to live to be an adult. And it's quite sad for a lot of the children I worked with and come across as a teacher. All they really want is to just be like the other children and have the same number of problems the other children have, not adding on all of the other issues they have to face in their daily life. I think the amazing thing that what Great Ormond Street does is it helps to limit the number of children that have to face these issues, especially to the scale of maybe losing their life, which is a really hard thing to even really think about. And this sort of goes on to the point of donating does help. You're looking at a multi-million-pound hospital. You can often feel that donating £20–30 is a minuscule amount. But the reality is £30 of your money will pay for the accommodation of these parents that need to stay for a night. It takes away the stress of that. And it's although, you know, the NHS has been part of the NHS Trust, pays for a lot of the factors around the hospital itself and the day-to-day runnings and so forth, they don't pay for the extras that really help the families and the children in the process, making it that children's hospital. One example they said was when you go inside, it doesn't smell like a hospital. We spend a lot of money in trying to take away those sort of horrible smells that we associate with when we go to a hospital in itself, and it didn't at all smell like a hospital inside. They have decorations everywhere for the children. They have like animals on the floors, and they said like they have ground animals like a hedgehog and so forth for the ground floors, and they might have birds and stuff for the second floor. Going into the operation theatre, they have sort of an animal that will follow them across the ceiling and sort of just distracts them, hopefully, from the fear they have for going into that surgery. So on the whole, though it is a hospital that is just a functioning hospital, it has so much more that just helps these families that are going through the hardest time possibly of their lives at that moment in time. Besides that as well, they do a lot for research, so there's a lot of very unique cases for children, and being able to sort of help and pay towards that research that will hopefully prevent any further children having to suffer from conditions, or at least lessen them. And there's a lot of your money goes towards that. For example, they say like £58 will go to research into like gene therapy and so forth. And it is just all of these small contributions help to build that bigger picture and really help and support the hospital on a whole. So another thing is they'll often have performers come in and they'll do shows, and they will basically just have these events that children can attend to or see, and it's really lovely for them children that are potentially stuck there for weeks on end, and it gives them something to look forward to. And £1,400 pays for like a whole weekend of entertainment inside the hospital, which is, I think, just really amazing, and not as much as you really think it is. And this is sort of a big thing for me, is just being able to do my little bit to hopefully help and raise money for such an amazing organisation. I mean, the team were really lovely, really supportive, and have really given me some really amazing advice. I have Bernard the bear, which is going to join me on the trip. I might find him get him a little bike helmet if I can find one, and he can join me. And I think it's just really nice to be able to do something, however small it is compared to some of the fundraisers that are out there. I personally feel really blessed in the fact that I've had a very healthy life up to this point. I'm 30 now, and I've had 30 years of relatively trouble-free life. And there's some children out there who I think are really aspirational, who face prospects that I can't even imagine at my age, let alone theirs. And they get on and they crack on every day. And that courageousness of them, I just think is absolutely amazing. Some other little really interesting points to note as well yesterday is there's a full chapel inside. They offer like prayer services for all different religions, but there is actually a fully built chapel, which I managed to get a picture of because there's no one inside, and it gives people time just to process and talk, and they have a chaplain and so forth we can talk to, who I met, who's really lovely. And they also have a little play area, which I'll get a picture of and I'll show you. Another really interesting point I had no idea about yesterday was J.M. Barry's commitment to Great Ormond Street. When he passed away, he enabled Great Ormond Street to receive a large proportion of his proceeds for Peter Pan. And, around the hospital, we see a lot of Peter Pan. Disney as well helped massively with the hospital itself. So that play area I was talking about earlier is based around Disney. And I think all these things really come together to make a really nice organisation for these children. A few children I come in contact regularly who visit the hospital always speak really highly of it, because it takes away so much of that stress. It's like a family away from home for them. The families themselves don't have to worry about anything besides their child. You're not worrying about finding accommodation. You're not worrying about the expenses, and it just takes away from a lot of that stress. And also there's a lot of support for those families going through that. So if they are very, very unfortunate and they lose their child, they offer like additional support of grievances and stuff as well. And there's a lot of parents as well who will raise money in the name of Great Ormond Street later on in their lives, in the name of their child as well, which I just think is quite humbling and amazing too. The reality is, in this hospital, they said they see about 750 patients a day. They perform 336 operations in a day. It is a massive organisation that helps so many children. And personally myself, if I have cash left after my trip, I'd like to donate money towards my own fundraiser after as well. I feel it's safer to do that after rather than at the beginning, because I might need the money to finish the trip. But I just feel it's something, to me, I just think it's just a really lovely thing to do something good for. And I've never actually ever done a fundraiser in my life. So I guess starting off big is maybe the right way of doing it for a round the world trip. But if you haven't watched any of my videos before, I do have a bunch of little trips I've done before. I've done one to Milan last summer, and I've done one to Barcelona the year before from the UK. Just basically as a bit of preparation for my round the world trip, which I'll be embarking on in April the 5th is the plan. Now, obviously, if this is something you feel that you'd like to join the journey on, help out for a really lovely cause, I've got a little fundraiser down the bottom of the page, so you can just follow me on the Just Giving if you want to. But I'm also going to do a bit of Instagram, and I've also got a YouTube channel as well, which I'm planning to update, and I'll possibly make a little Facebook page. But the three main things will be those three things there for the Just Giving and the YouTube and the Instagram. And hopefully together they make a nice little sort of combination of things. We can follow my journey, and also we can all be sort of hopefully raising some money together for such an amazing organisation. But I really do appreciate all your support so far. And if any sort of suggestions or anything, please feel free to keep posting them. I have got a few little video ideas I will be continuing to make. So I am going to just do a quick little video about a Chinese visa in a minute. I'll be wearing the same clothes because I'll be just filming it after this video. But honestly, I will keep updating you. There will be quite a few videos about Great Ormond Street. I just thought it was really nice to just talk about my meetings with the teams and stuff yesterday. But it's been a real big pleasure talking to you, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. So take care, guys. Bye now.